Yeah, this hobby is ridiculously expensive. Ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, she said that she's just busting my balls. She don't mind. She's glad that I'm happy playing around doing something I like.
There you go, and that's kind of the way my wife would have felt about it. As long as it's keeping me home and out of trouble, she's happy.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I said, hey, when it comes to gun shows and radio festivals, would you rather me do that or buy a Corvette and chase around some young blondes?
That sounds good.
Now, I don't want to hear about no divorces in the future here.
No, we're going on 23 years. We're doing fine.
Well, good for you, sir. Good for her as well. It takes strong people to make that kind of commitment. I was not so fortunate on my first marriage. It only lasted 3 years, but my second one did last for over 20. And God rest her soul, she'd still be with me if not for cancer.
Oh, sir, I'm definitely sorry about that. I really am.
Sorry, brother. Didn't mean to bring anybody down. Again, God love her. It's been a few years now. And, I am figured out that, like it or not, I've still got a few more years in me. So I've got to deal with what comes. Took my Social Security and picked up a part-time job and a roommate. And I'm just trying to be as active as an old man in 65 can be.
Oh yeah. Keep the faith, man. Keep rolling. That's good.
The guy in Carolina is, we can hear your wife in the background, so maybe you should hand her the microphone, let her tell her side of the story.
I can. She's under my license. Let me see if she wants to talk.
Please tell her we'd love to hear her side.
Okay, now she's a little bit more country than I am, even though we're basically from the neighboring counties. But yeah, she's kind of tweaking, but she's gonna take the microphone. I'm gonna turn it over to that, and it's WRVM 909. I'm Chris, and this is my wife Catherine. Here you go. Over to Catherine.
Good evening, Catherine. I hope you understand we're just joking around here, right?
Oh, you don't even bother me no bit whatsoever. I think it's comical. I mean, my husband's been working his butt off all these years and everything. It's about time he has some friends. At least I ain't got to feed y'all. Ha ha.
Hey, give me about 4 hours. I'll be at your doorstep with an appetite.
Well, we got plenty of Boston butts and pork shoulders in the freezer, and we got a whole bunch of deer meat and everything. We can make anything happen, especially with my guts and ROT. So I know how to do it, dude.
Hey, I heard you say you got a freezer full of deer meat. Now, let me tell you, I'm an old man who's spent his life living and working in the city, looking forward to finally getting my retirement and going out to do some deer hunting. I'm going to have to make friends with you guys.
Well, see, what's what's cool about it, my dad, he's probably got between 30, 40 deers, and he goes up there and feeds them by hand on his land. But he don't shoot the deers on his land. He goes to other people. He's got a lady deer that has twins, and feeds her by hand and everything, and he takes care of all his deers. And like I said, he goes to the
Now that is awesome. That is truly awesome. I have hoped for years to put aside enough money and be lucky enough to find the right plot of land, get again to take my retirement and go out where I could do more fishing and hunting and geez, you guys are living a life that I've been dreaming of.
Well, sir, my son, Alex, he's full rotten, because anytime my grandkid would be born, my dad bought the fishing license, hunting license for life, and for my son, he bought also I can't remember the fishing license for the ocean. I can't remember what that one's called. Saltwater license for life. So
Now there you go. Down here in Orlando, I'm just about an hour's ride from the Atlantic coast. Pardon me. And I've got my saltwater shore license here in Florida. There's one for shore and one for offshore. But you can get right out there on that sandy beach and you can cast a line and pull in some truly nice eating fish. Well, for what it's worth, Catherine, it was good talking with you. I'm afraid I've got to bounce out for a little bit. This is WRKY 958. I'm going to be off the air for now.
WRVM 909, it's Chris. I'm back on the mic.
All I can say is a little venison in the freezer, make some sausage out of that, like some summer sausage. And I still don't know the difference between a Boston butt and a regular pork butt, like a pork shoulder. I buy them both, but I don't know the difference.
The Boston butt is cut a little bit short of the shoulder itself. It's still the same piece of meat. It's just the way in which you cut it. If you take a full shoulder and cut the bottom section off of that shoulder, it becomes a Boston butt.
Which one's better?
Now, the upper shoulder has more fat on it. The Boston butt's a little bit less. I wouldn't say one's better than the other, depending on how you're going to cook it. We always smoke ours until it's falling apart. We take it up to about 198 degrees temperature, close to 200, so you can turn it into pulled pork. I mean, we are native North Carolinians. Pork's in our blood.
The best contribution North Carolina made was the vinegar-based barbecue sauce. I use nothing but it. I do have a Boston Butt in the fridge right now, and I'm getting ready to smoke it on Sunday, and that's going to be very enjoyable.
Put it on early and smoke it at about 220 degrees, and then take a thermometer and wait till it's getting right at 200 degrees. It gets right at 200. Pull it off, wrap it up some aluminum foil, and just throw it to the side and let it rest, and that thing will tear apart with a fork. It'll be perfect.
Roger that, man. That's exactly what I plan to do, and I got about 8 people to feed with it, so I think it's gonna fit the bill nicely.
All right, over to Mr. Orlando. I'm sorry, I've not caught y'all's names, or if I did, I forgot it. My name's Chris out of Rockwell, WRVM909.
No. I thought your name was Wiggins.
Well, that would be the last name. I've got several friends that are Chris, so me and my wife's been together a long time, so back when she was young and I was much younger than I am now, she started calling all the Chris's by their last names, and so Wiggins just kind of stuck.
At QSL, man. My name is Sean, personal is Sean, WRVL 439. I'm in Apopka, Florida, and it was good talking with you and your wife, man, and appreciate the pork butt tips. I'm going to cook it to 200, because I usually take it off a little early, so I'm going to do it to 200 this time.
Oh yeah, Sean. Now don't go too far. You let her go to about 205. It's going to it'll even though it looks moist, it's going to taste dry. So yeah, right at 200, 197, 198, somewhere along in there. Yank it off.
And of course, the most important part is wrapping it in foil and letting it rest. And I plan on letting it rest for about an hour in the cooler, just sitting there.
Yes, absolutely. I see a lot of barbecue guys and smoker guys do that. Is they'll pull it off, and while it's juicy, they'll start pulling it and chopping it, and it's like it'll go dry quick. All the juices will run out.
I'm getting hungry.
Hey guys, good evening. WROR 906. Wanted to let y'all know tonight's Shoot the Shack is not happening because one of our regular guys that they're not doing nothing. And am I getting out?
Kinda. You still use cabbage. You just use regular cabbage, but instead of you chop it up, you make it the same texture as normal coleslaw, but then you throw a little bit of vinegar in it, and then instead of mayonnaise or anything like that, you use actually basically the way I do it is a shot of vinegar, some salt, pepper, and sugar to give it a little sweet kick, ketchup, and then either Frank's hot sauce or Texas Pete. And that's a Carolina red slaw, and it goes unbelievably great with pork.
That person with the announcement sounds good. Go ahead.
All right. Hopefully I'm getting out. This is WROR 906. Wanted to let y'all know that right now we're all currently in the 411 because we were supposed to have tonight's Shoot the Shack. Unfortunately, it's not going to go down because our normal announcer is out handling some family business. But you guys may still continue to talk about your great dishes and keep the conversation rolling while we're here. So you guys can carry on. This is WROR 906.
WVM 909. Come on, join the conversation. We'll just turn it into a round table. Everybody take a turn.
I do like the addition of Pete's red sauce or Texas Pete or whatever red sauce you want to use with the vinegar and no mayo. That sounds awesome. I'm going that route.
Oh yeah, give it a try. And then what I just gave you is a basic recipe. Some people make theirs a little bit sweeter. Some people make it a little bit saltier, and some put a little bit more hot sauce. You can play with the different balances, but the ingredients I gave you is the basic ingredients, and then just however your flavor, however your palate prefers it. That's how you want to balance the dish out.
Yeah, the wife's tolerance to the hot sauce is a little low, so I tend to disguise it under some sugar, and your recipe allows that. So I'm gonna give that a try. I don't like the mayonnaise-based flaws. It's okay, I'll eat it, but it's not great. The vinegar-based stuff is the way to go.
Well, see, that's another North Carolina thing is with the mayonnaise-based coleslaw. We put it on our cheeseburgers and on our hot dogs up here. So, what we call in North Carolina a cheeseburger all the way, it's got coleslaw and chili, onions, and mustard on it. And chili, no beans. Anyway.
Sounds good, man. Another good dog is the Chicago dog. They make a good hot dog. If you're, I wouldn't walk the streets of Chicago right now, but 10 years ago you could go walking around downtown Chicago and get a dog, and it was awesome. Or a slice of pizza. They make good pizza, too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I work here in Charlotte now. Been working for Train for 8 years. Prior to that, 28 years of my life I've traveled. So I've been to Chicago. I've been to pretty much everywhere. Just constantly. All over the United States and in the 12 different countries. So, and I'm a food connoisseur, or I try to be anyway. So I try anything, and I love different foods out there.
Yeah, so I think, Tone, we've converted the GMRS Live Friday night talk from a tech talk to a foodie network.
I could definitely talk some food talk. I love some food.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me chime in there. We'll hand it back to the net and see what else everybody wants to talk about.
Oh, copy that. Yeah. Anybody else want to step up and change the subject? Whatever. Let's keep it rolling. WRVM 909 gonna stand by and listen.
Well, since you guys was talking about food, let's keep it rolling. What would be the best radio that you would keep with you when you're at a barbecue?
Well, I prefer my ID 52 that I'm talking on right now. it's been opened up to GMRS as well.
Well, if you're trying to combine those two, it would have to be a handheld radio with no hands.
Well, personally, me, I walk with the Motorola XPR 7550 because I'm strictly GMRS. So there's no ham involved. But I'll listen into anybody else's radio. They got it sitting right there.
Oh, copy that. Motorola makes some killer radios.
Yeah, with some killer prices. Sorry there, Tony. You came in with a lot of packet loss. I'm gonna try again.
No, I think my node ain't getting any signal.
Well, you got in that time.
Is there such thing as too much vinegar? I don't think so.
Okay, we're back to barbecue. Yeah, my wife's the same way. When she does her deviled eggs, she puts a little bit more vinegar in them than I would prefer, but they're still delicious.
You really need to give her her own microphone. I can hear her in the background loud and clear.
Well, I can reach over and turn it over. I got a little bow thing sitting here that can hit the repeater. I can let her join in on another radio if she wants to.
That's a nice thing about these UHF radios is you can really hear clearly what's going on in the background. So it's funny. Had my radio cut out.
Everybody loves on top instead of paprika. Everybody else. I don't tell them the same.
Well, that bow thing is barely making it. It's cutting in and out of your repeater.
There you go. Now see.
Okay, sorry about that. My husband's trying to teach me how to do this. No, my deviled eggs, instead of putting paprika on them, I'll put cayenne. And everybody loves mine, and they do not know why, and I will not give my secret out.
Now, you know, in New Orleans, we use a heck of a lot of cayenne.
Damn, I got another good idea. I'm going to try that on Easter.
And also what works good, if you're doing like when me and Wiggins do like a shrimp bowl or something like that, on the eggs, go ahead and put some, what's it called, Creole season? Yeah, Creole season on there, so it matches the flavor of your bowl.
Yeah, you know, it kind of brightens up the dull flavor of an egg, of a, you know, hard-boiled egg. It definitely makes it more flavorful. I like that idea. I'm putting that and writing that one down too. I've got 3 ideas now from you guys.
Well, I got another one for you, brother. If you haven't ever bothered to make, you should definitely try. Make yourself some shrimp and grits. Just saute, make a regular bowl of grits, add a little, what I like to do is add a little cream cheese to it, a little bit of heavy cream just to make it a little creamier. And then while that's sauteing in one pan, while that's cooking down in one pan, go ahead and saute some shrimp up. Use a little Cajun seasoning, Creole seasoning on top of it, and serve it right over the top. Dice some shallots or some green onions, drop on the top there. Makes a wonderful meal any time of day, breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
You know, shrimp and grits.
Oh, that sounds good, but for somebody that's lactose intolerant, boy, that'd be one hell of a meal. Okay, here's Wiggins, but it does sound good.
Shrimp and grits, but that recipe is awesome. And the cream cheese idea, awesome. I'm gonna do that next time I'm in the doghouse, and I think I'll earn a few extra, you know, brownie points.
Don't I have to apologize to you, brother? I didn't realize I was walking into the middle of the net earlier.
Oh, not a net. We were just chewing the fat. I didn't even know we were inside the net until somebody come on and said there was supposed to be a tech net. And I mean, we were just talking. So I mean, I can talk. You know, yeah, and there's room for everybody. I mean, if the tech guy's coming back in, we'll step aside and listen.
It's not technically a tech net. It's an informal net. So it's called shoot the shack, and that's exactly what you guys are doing. You're shooting the shack. You're talking about whatever, and it's a good conversation. So food is always the best recipe for anything. So you guys keep rocking out.
That's true. I mean, everybody comes together. Don't matter where you're from, what kind of cultures your background are. I mean, everybody comes to the table, and you can have a good time when you sit around and have good food and good conversation and fellowship.
Yeah, roger that, man. We're talking grits, We're talking pork butts, venison. By the way, you guys have some venison in the freezer. Do you do any like summer sausage type stuff with it? That's the best way I like it. Either that or maybe in a spaghetti or something.
Yes, yeah, we definitely have some summer sausage. Most of the time we get it processed. The last time I did sausage in the house, I started it late Christmas Eve, and my wife's over there shaking her head because by the time we finished, it was like 1 o'clock Christmas morning before I finished stuffing all those sausages. And she said, "Don't mess my kitchen up like that again."
Oh yeah, if you're doing your own processing, it gets messy.
Yeah, you know, brother, one of the best bowls of chili I ever had in my life came from a fella I worked with years ago. He brought a pot into work to share, and it was venison chili. I honestly don't know how he seasoned it, but I'm going to tell you, that was the best bowl of chili I think I've ever had in my entire life.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he made it through some beef fat or some pork fat in there as well. Because venison chili, you got to be careful. It'll be a little bit dry because venison don't have a whole lot of fat on it. And that's another thing a lot of people don't realize when they're cooking wild game is you got to prep it. I mean, if you just take a piece of deer or a wild duck or even a wild turkey and you just cook it without preparing it, it don't taste nearly. It's still got all the gaminess. So you got to season it, let it age. Sometimes you got to soak in a little salt water, a little buttermilk. Tenderize it up pretty good with a little bit of acid like that, and then it turns out really awesome. And never ever ever cook wild meat well done. Always medium rare.
Now that sounds like some good advice and makes perfect sense.
And I've heard if you're using venison for a chili, you want to make the base, the sauce base, you start out with a can of V8 juice. A simple can of V8 juice makes the base perfect.
If I could ask you to repeat that, what kind of juice?
My nephew, who's an avid hunter up in Georgia, he uses a can of V8 juice, just regular old V8 juice, as the base for the chili when you put venison in there. And, 1 or 2 green peppers, a couple onions, maybe a can of tomatoes, diced tomatoes if you want. But that V8 juice is what really does it.
Gotcha. V8. That makes sense too. A lot of different seasonings added to that. Right.
Oh yeah, V8. Throw a couple shots of vodka in there, you good to go.
Okay, never mind. Hey, Tone. Go ahead. Pie hat. Soldering that we did. Which one is the USB that it's disabled by the soldering?
USB 1, I believe.
I'm guessing that will be on the, looking at the USBs in the RJ45, that will be on the right side top.
Yeah.
Okay. Carry on, people. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I'm enjoying the recipes. I just can't eat it anyways.
Alex, I'm just glad to hear you on the air, brother. I was thinking about you earlier today when I heard about that massive pileup on the turnpike in Lake County.
Yeah, now I have to return the flowers. Hi, Alex. Welcome back.
Yep, you can definitely feel the love. Ed, I haven't been online in the past couple of days. I haven't been indisposed. I haven't even been to work.
Just glad you're safe, brother.
Thank you, sir.
To be honest with you, that's kind of why I avoid 75 when I'm driving from Florida to Georgia. I take the back roads like 441, 301, whatever. It, it always seems like there's some kind of congestion, and you just on the interstate, and you don't go anywhere several times.
What part of Florida are you traveling from?
I travel from Apopka, Florida, Orlando area, and then go up to just south of Atlanta to my nephew's little hunting ground. And, it's like a 5-hour drive, but if I take the interstate, it just seems like there's always an incident or an accident, some sort. But if I take the back roads, driving 60 miles an hour, I get there at the same time with less hassle.
Firm believer in that. I'd much prefer to ride the back roads.
Yeah, and not only that, but then you get the cool little restaurants along the way. So if you have to stop over for lunch or something like that, the food's usually better. Better than a truck stop.
Hey, I take offense on that.
Oh, why is that?
Because I'm a truck driver and I live off of that food.
Now, Now, there are some good truck stops. I forget that big one, and they got good hamburgers. Yeah, some truck stop food is pretty good. But I like the little greasy spoons on the side of the road, 3 employees run the place, probably family owned. And they got the smoker out back. I don't know. It's a good trip.
I gotta say, Alex, I understand where you're coming from. You're stuck on the highways. You've got to make the best time. But, when you're traveling for leisure, brother, it is always nice to find a little out of the way place. And I'm pretty sure you can relate to that too.
Oh, believe me, I know plenty of like um I remember when I was training to be a truck driver 23 years ago. The one the one thing that my trainer told me was go where the locals go. It's like if you park at a truck stop and on the other side, and you look around, and on the other side of the road, you see that parking lot and that little restaurant completely full, cars coming and going, and people walking from probably half a mile away just to get to the restaurant. Eat there because the locals know that's the best food. If it's empty, don't even go there. Just buy a soda and keep walking.
So, Alex, tell me something while we're talking about truck stop restaurants. Last 6 months or so, I want to say, there was a big article in the paper about Daytona getting a Buc-ee's, and they're opening another location somewhere. I'm not sure. I think the Panhandle. In any event, tell me about Buc-ee's.
Bucky's, every truck driver hates them because they don't let truck even though that they have plenty of parking, they don't allow trucks anywhere near them. There is one in Daytona. There is another one in Jacksonville. They are opening another one somewhere up in the Panhandle, and apparently close to Miami, another one is coming around. And I think somewhere around Tampa, I heard. Tony can probably say if that one is true or not. But yeah, they don't like truck drivers, so a lot of truck drivers don't like them, including me.
Well, that's surprising. I kind of got the impression from the article that it was intended to be a truck stop.
No, no, no. Don't ever go in there and think that they're a truck stop because I will tell you, nope, we are not a truck stop. They have, I don't know how many, like 100 freaking gas pumps and whatever for cars and for RVs, but RV is the biggest thing that can go there. Box trucks, certain height, they can go in. They haven't done it here in Florida, but at least in Texas, they have pipes in the on the entrances that box trucks, not even U-Hauls, of certain height can get in.
Well, that's good information, brother. I'd have never expected that from the how would you call it, the propaganda they were putting out in the news article.
I find that ridiculous. I mean, why would they not want to support the infrastructure that, I mean, like, everything you own in your house was traveled by a truck at some point, and a company with that big of a footprint wouldn't accommodate semis? I mean, come on.
Hey, no idea. The one over at um, up in Daytona, they had trucks removed when they first opened. About I think it's close to a year now, more than a year that they've been open, and they had a few trucks removed, and they actually removed one of their own trucks, or one guy that came to deliver some of the stuff that they needed. They called a towing company at night, and uh, the towing company came in and lifted the truck from the front and wouldn't let the driver drive away. They're like, he's like, nope, I'm already hooked up. It's like I had to finish my job and I had to tow you out of here, and you can't be in the truck. Here's where it's gonna be. Uh, and they tow their own crap away. So that was a bittersweet moment. A win for truckers, a lose for them.
Nothing like watching someone shoot themselves in the foot.
Exactly.
Yep, but I'm gonna leave you guys talk to each other. I'm doing my evil experiments over here, dealing with Sherry and with trying to put together a Brian for a person that's here in the channel, completely quiet. Ramon,
You're evil.
I just hear my name. I'm eating. I don't know what you're talking about.
I said that I'm putting together a Brian and dealing with the. Oh wait, Tony is here. Hey Tony, you listening or you fell asleep already?
Oh, you're making me cry. You're working for me. Tony, I don't have toilet paper. Go to hell.
That means you got my voicemail. WRW556.
Hey Tony, quick question. If I'm using the same Raspberry Pi that I had the Pi Hat installed, that has the same program for the Pi Hat to do the frequencies, will that work with the Sherry, or do I have to install the one that or is it the same, the one that you put on the website?
No, the programs are identical. The one I put on the website, you want to use it because it will go into the GRMS band, where the other one, they got it blocked out, so it won't go in the GRMS band. So yeah, use it, but the same program will program both of them. You know, it won't program a Brian, but it'll program a Sherry.
Yeah, it's the same. Remember, I did buy the SD card from what's his name, Marshall. Marshall was the one that did this as SD card for this one, and it does have the image of GMRS Live on it.
Yeah, well, if it's Marshall's image, then it got the correct software in it, because the That's the one I did. It's on his image. So yeah, just use that software.
Okay, no problem. I'll be back in a bit. Let me fire this one up and do the programming and program a radio, and I'll be back in a bit.
Wait a minute. I had to step away for a minute. What's he doing?
So what he's doing is he's programming a sherry that that the ham operators use to connect to a Raspberry Pi, which gives out a low wattage in order for you to talk RF into a network. Um, Something similar to what we're already doing, but we're using a much higher power because we got them connected to radios and repeaters and whatnot. But if you're trying to do something small that'll be work for you inside the house, you can have your own node to where you can move around to different networks, so forth. Um, yeah, that's what he's getting ready to program now, so he can utilize that in the house, even though he has multiple nodes and radios and all types of other stuff. So Alex just likes spending his money.
You know, I want to do the exact same thing, and I want to duplicate it like 3 times for a couple of buddies of mine. I definitely want to know how he, figures that out and gets that working, because it's not easy.
It's actually easier than you think. So there's a place that we started out with. It's called hotspotradios.com. The guy Marshall, he actually works alongside with GMRS Live, and he sells hotspot hats, Pi hats. If you already have your own Raspberry Pi, he can send you the Pi hat, and you can put it together. It's very simple, and you just install the image. You get your node number from GMRS Live, and install it, and you're done. You program your radio to it, and you already have your own node. You can have your big radio connected to it, and they can talk back and forth to each other. It's very simple. But then, the other way to how we got it hooked up to our big radios. Yeah, that's a little bit more tricky. And depending on the radio, you can get the sound card and do all that good stuff. But it all starts out with a Raspberry Pi and getting your node numbers from GMRS Live.
Okay, so that allows him to use the handheld, and that goes to the little Baofeng or whatever he's got going. That's connected to the Pi, transmitting the audio, receive, and all that. And then that's doing the switching to the node. That's pretty cool.
Yep, in a sense, you're absolutely right. The transmitting and receiving is being done by the little radio, and then it's being decoded by the Raspberry Pi and the network. Then it's going out over the internet to other nodes anywhere around the country, and whatever they transmit is being brought into a node, to their node through the internet, out through us, whoever's connected to us, so forth and so on. That's exactly how we were able to talk to our guys in North Carolina about pig butt and deviled eggs with a lot of paprika.
It's pork butt, not pig butt. But yeah, I do miss the days when you could get a Raspberry Pi for about $35 5 years ago. What's happened?
COVID and not enough people doing building the processors and the silicon and all types of other stuff. It was more political than anything. But you can still find Raspberry Pis out there on eBay. I mean, yeah, they're a bit more expensive than they used to be. Um, but you can get lucky on bids. You start doing some bids, and on a couple of them. And Alex can tell you, he been out there doing bids on Raspberry Pis and winning bids because nobody wants to spend more than $100. And so there's times you can get very, very lucky and pay anywhere between 60 to 80.
Yeah, based on inflation, I'd be willing to pay, 50 or $60. But yeah, there's so much you can do with a Raspberry Pi. It's got that Linux platform. You can load, CentOS on it or Red Hat or I'm not sure what GMRS Live uses as the OS, but it'll take anything and you can run it.
Well, it depends. On Pi's, it's using the ARM Linux, ARM architecture, however you say it. The registration server and the hubs that we host and everything else, it all runs on Debian. And my server itself, it runs on Debian, Debian 11. That's what the Zello and my repeater and my small nodes running all on Debian.
Yeah. What's nice about Debian is it does play well with different database applications too.
Yeah, the GRMS Live website, everything's on Debian. Just like Lone Wolf, theirs is all on Debian.
So, does anybody have any baked bean recipes? We're looking for a baked bean recipe that just kills it.
Well, you can definitely count me out of that because I don't eat beans like that. Can't do it. Not by itself. Nope. If you think Alex is having a hard time with his gut, put me around some beans, see what happens.
Hey, what about Tony? Tony is the cook.
Especially when he has a real good pressure cooker.
Oh shoot, they haven't come out in a long time.
is that an internal pressure cooker, or like when you set on the counter?
I must be dropping packet. I didn't hear anybody say anything about pressure cooker. But that's what I use. I love a pressure cooker. Yeah, Tone, he should get a pressure cooker sometime.
Funny story about pressure cookers. I am a new consumer of a pressure cooker and enjoy it, make all kinds of stuff with it. But my wife would not let me have one. Her early experiences as a child was they could blow up, and I could not have one in the house. So finally talked her into it that they're safe, everything's cool, and now she loves it.
Now that's funny because I remember as a kid my mom having a pressure cooker on the stove, and one day the release valve on the top blew off the top and shot through the drywall on the ceiling.
And was spaghetti all over the house, or all over the kitchen?
No. It wasn't the whole lid of the pot. It was just the release valve. They had a little round disc that sat on top of it. But I don't know, maybe half, 3/4 of an inch thick, about 2 inches around, 2-inch diameter disc. I'm looking at my cell phone at the push to talk button and thinking it's about that same size. And there was just a little spit valve on the top of it. If it got to a certain point, it normally would blow steam out of there. But one day she let it go a little too long, and the entire fitting just launched off of the top of the pot and into the ceiling.
Yeah, that's kind of the story she was telling. It's funny though, because I have a modern Instapot, whatever. It's a pressure cooker, but she won't enter it into the kitchen when it's running. But she avoids the kitchen. But when the dinner's done, she's very happy with it.
Well, certainly they do save time. They do, you can take something that would take 8 to 10 hours in a crock pot, you can do in about 2. So there is something to be said for a pressure cooker.
Oh yeah, I make homemade chicken and dumplings from scratch. The only thing I use is Bisquick. The thing I use is Bisquick that isn't from scratch. Frozen chicken breast, and in 30 minutes I got homemade chicken and dumplings.
All right, we need your address, and we're all coming over for dinner on Sunday.
I'll have at it. I won't be here, but have at it.
What side dish shall I bring?
I can bring a tomato cucumber salad, just so we have a veg.
I've got some great spinach greens available.
Recipe for a pressure cooker. I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah, I make beef stew. I make chicken dumplings in there, macaroni and cheese, applesauce, um, meatloaf. We do the potatoes and meatloaf and everything all at the same time. Meatloaf in it. We've made stuffed green peppers in it. You can supposedly bake a cake in it. I've made cornbread in it once, but yeah, I do a lot of things in the pressure cooker. I like it.
Probably pushing it a little bit, but
All right, everybody. FYI, our hub is getting ready to drop out of the 411 shortly, but the conversation can still continue if you want to jump over to the 1691. That's where everybody would be at, and whoever else was, a Pop Sean, you can just stay right where you are. Everybody else, stand by because it will be switching over to the 1691.
yeah, what exactly does that mean? Like the South Florida and the Tampa repeater will have to move too, or how does that work?
So see, we're
On everything, and Tony says, "Hey, let's all go over to my house and finish the party here." So that's what's happening. Everybody's leaving the 411, and they're going to go to Tony's house. And then when you get tired of it, anybody that's there could leave there and want to go or what have you. But right now, everybody's in the 411. It would be like everybody going to Applebee's. So we all drive to Applebee's and meet at Applebee's. We sit there at the table and talk. Well, he's leaving Applebee's and he's going home. And he's saying, "Hey, anybody want to go with me? Come on, meet me at my house." That's pretty much in a nutshell how it works. WRAW 556.
I was just kidding.
And I see somebody else in there. Who's Ryan? Ryan, you in there? WQZR 716. Guess Ryan's not in there either. The sleeping in there? Yeah, I guess not. Okay, I'm gonna bounce out here. WRAW 556.
Well, I would like to thank everyone who did participate on the semi-informal shoot the shack. Started out with just food, ended up with food. See y'all in 2 weeks when our friendly enforcer, what's his call sign? Whatever his call sign is, I don't care anymore. He'll be back to actually run the informal net, and it'll be the same old thing. Maybe we'll talk about food. Maybe we'll talk about beer. You never know. Thank y'all for coming through, man. We appreciate y'all. WROR 906.
Yeah, thank you for hosting, man. And beer will be a very good topic next time. Thank you.